Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? With silver bells and cockle shells, pretty maids all in a row. Are you growing a garden? Have you started one? Are you thinking about it? Well, I went out today and I did a little planting. I've got a garden I've had for a couple of years now. I planted some stuff, some squash, some tomatoes, some herbs. I transplanted some things around and I harvested some stuff. I actually had stuff from last year that's popping up. I had feverfew, beans, and stinging nettle coming up from last year. And also my grapevine on my porch a couple weeks ago started sprouting. It was doing the winter thing, like, and then a couple weeks ago, bang, spring hit. It was, spring, 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 party, 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 fun, fun, fun. And like a thousand leaves sprouted all over. And each of these is going to be a bunch of grapes in a couple weeks. And then what you do is you cut off these and you get bigger grapes further down. So no loss here. In fact, all of these leaves here, all of the upper part of the grapevine is edible. And the leaves here, for example, leaves here you can eat live. You can eat live, yeah. You can eat raw, live, right off the plant. Like that. It's got a very mild lettucey flavor. I mean, not much. Crunches up good. I'd add it with something else to make it even crunchier. But it'd be a lot better with your favorite salad dressing, I'm sure. But this alone, this is edible. Now, as the leaves get bigger, they get tougher and they get bitter. They develop tannin, which makes it pucker up in a bad way. So when you cook them, you usually take that into account, which is what we're going to do. So let's get started. So you go out there, you don't break off the vine. What you do is you harvest the leaves you want, and just from here and there. And especially if you're doing this out in the wild, make sure it's the right plant. Doing the wild, you pick from here and there. Don't kill the plant. But you pick these off, leave the stems on because they're really good. They're really good handles for what. So you got to get them ready to stuff by softening them up a bit, and you want to get that tannin out of there. So what you do is you blanch them or parboil them. I blanched them. So you use the salty water, just a little. There's about an inch in there. You get it boiling, then this handles the stems really good. The way I do it, I do them one at a time. You put it in there, you drown it in the water, then you flip it over, it floats. You got to say, hey, get down in there. If it keeps floating, get down in there. And you fight it, and you fight it, and you fight it. And eventually it gives up. Now, don't twirl it around, and don't put a whole mash in there and stir it, because what you'll get is this Gordian knot ball of grape leaves. And that's not you can't get them apart without tearing them. It's just they come in the jar in the Gordian knot of grape leaf balls. The hardest part of making these is dealing with these after you've blanched or parboiled them. It's like tissue paper. They just click to each other. You got to so do it my way, and you won't have that much aggravation. It probably takes as much time, but it's not as aggravating. But you get it out one at a time and just flop it down on a flat surface like that. And you do that, bump, 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 flop them down. Get about 6 of them on a board like I'm using here, and that's good enough for a batch. So that loosens it up and rinses off a lot of the tannins. Now we're going to get back to this can here. Sauce. Technically, it's a saucepan. We're going to get back to that in a moment. But after doing that, it flopped it down here on the table. It wasn't in there long enough to get nice and limp. But These did. You can barely see them. But you put them down on that flat surface with the veins up. She's got a nice smooth side and a side with these rough veins. And this is a shiny, and this is a dull, matte. You're so dull, man. So you put it down there like that. And at this point, you get rid of the stem. You can just tear it off. Don't do a big. You'll need that. So don't break out the surgical scissors. But anyway, we're not going to use that one. So get rid of the stem. Put it on your compost heap. Give it to your neighbor. Oh yeah, 2 hours ago you were supposed to have started the process. At least an hour ago. Cut the. Again, I didn't get the order right. You gotta make yourself some rice. Now, I use pre-cooked rice. Other recipes, you put raw rice in here. You roll it up into one of these little packets like that, and you cook the rice and the meat. Put raw meat in there, usually lamb, and that'll cook in the pot. It takes like an hour and a half. Now you still have to have it like an hour to properly cook the rice. I cook brown rice, and I made this a little soggy. About 1 1/2 cup water and 1 cup brown rice, and a good splash of this apple cider vinegar. Give it a little bit more of a Middle Eastern tang, and apple cider vinegar is really good for you too. So what you do is you're going to add other ingredients to it. It could make a straight rice if that's all you have. It's one way to eat the rice. But I'm just going to make up a little bit. Two big teaspoons of that. Nice, not so big teaspoon of chopped olives, and an even smaller teaspoon, probably half a teaspoon of minced garlic, and a little tiny dash of extra virgin olive oil. And we're going to add our spices. We've got cumin, oregano, cinnamon, not too much. That was a little heavy on the cinnamon. That's okay. Well, it wasn't too much. This Middle Eastern foods they take a lot of cinnamon. And this is peppermint. This is peppermint. It's a tea, peppermint tea bag, but that's the only peppermint I had was a tea bag. So the sacrifices you're making these lockdowns. So just give that a rough mix. That's enough. So then you scoop yourself teaspoon, like so, nice heaping teaspoon. Plop that in the middle of the grape leaf. Can you see what I'm doing here? Oh, it's the wrong color. Okay, so it's in the middle of the grape leaf. There, like that. You flip up the bottom of the. Then one side, you hold it in place a little bit. Flip up the other side, and it's just like rolling a joint. Just like rolling a joint. And we're done. And we're done. You millennials, you'll have to ask your boomer uncle, how do you roll a joint? Got another one here waiting, ready to go. A little bit more, just about 1 heaping teaspoon. It's dictated pretty much by the size of the leaf. So bottom part goes up, one side goes over, Other side goes over. And you roll it up like that. Roll, roll, roll. Roll, roll, roll. Roll, 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 roll like that. Yeah, roll on a flat surface. It helps barrel it out. You get your lovely little dolmas. Now some people put a toothpick through it. Some people tie it with some string. That's okay if you're into piercing, if you're into bondage or shibari. But you really don't have to if you roll it up like that and let it set. It'll be fine. Now, this is perfectly good the way it is. Yum, yum. Watch. Yum. Okay, I had to tear at it a little bit. But it's perfectly fine. You can stop right there. Really didn't all that well. So remember the saucepan? This is a saucepan. We're going to use it again. We're going to steam the dolmas. We're going to steam the dolmas, and that'll make the rice cook a little bit more. It'll swell up a little bit, and the spices and the garlic will permeate through the rice a lot better. So again, it's about 1 inch of water, same water you used before. You don't care that it has tannin in it. You're just going to use the steam. So get your little steamer, plop that right on in there, and go outside, pick yourself some more grape leaves, and these will go on the bottom. They're going to line this, like so. And then you get the dolmas you made, plop them in there like so. Okay. And then you put more leaves on top, more grape leaves on top, like so. Cover them up. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, then you plop a plate, a big pot, use a bigger plate, but a saucer, which has grape leaves on it, a nice piece of china I've got here, Shepherdshire, England. That'll see will go upside down on top of the grape leaves, on top of the dolmas, like so. That'll keep them from unraveling during the next process. So you would get this boiling, get the water boiling first, and then you lower this down in there like so. And ultimately cover it with a lid, which it's right over there in the kitchen. Okay, cover that, get your lid over there, and set your timer for 20 minutes. And let it simmer at the lowest possible heat. We're not trying to boil anything. We're just steaming it. So steam, 20 minutes, and yeah. So turn off the heat, and you don't have to uncover it or anything right away. Let it cool down, and let it cool. It'll expand as much as it possibly can. Then you take it out. Then it's really good, nice and hot and tender. And that's the time the dolmas is good as a main dish with the meal. But it's usually kind of a side dish or an appetizer or a snack. And often that's served nicely chilled or room temperature. To get it chilled, what do? Put it in the refrigerator. At least in an hour in the refrigerator. Then it's ready to go. Steam them for 20 minutes. They're still not ready. But these are, I made these earlier. They've been chilling in the refrigerator. Got a little rose. It's from my front yard. Some more grape leaves. Oh, this is this pretty little blue flower. It's called Wandering Jew, and it grows in my front yard too. And this also is edible. Watch me eat it. That smell like celery. Actually, it'd go good with this because it's got more crunch and a different kind of a taste. And there are other stuff I grow for salad. I'll talk more about. I'll make salad another time. But right now, let's eat one of these. Mm. Oh, that's good. Oh, the cinnamon, the garlic. Mm. So, Mary, Mary, quite contrary. How does your garden grow? You know that nursery rhyme? It's about Bloody Mary, Queen Mary, not Mary, Queen of Scots. Different Mary. It's confusing. They were cousins, Mary, Queen of Scots, and Bloody Mary. English history is, they either named Mary or Henry or anyway. Mary, Bloody Mary. She was the daughter of Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon, his first wife, and she was pretty much going to be the first Queen of England, the first ruling Queen of England. Henry didn't have any male heirs, and Catherine of Aragon, who came from the Spanish Empire, was quite fine with the idea of having her daughter, a woman, be a leader of the British part of the Spanish Empire. So Mary was raised to expect that and to have all that coming to her, but then Henry VIII fell in love with Anne Boleyn and wanted to divorce Catherine of Aragon and couldn't do it because the Pope said, nah, it's against the church. It's, Catholicism. No, we're not going to do it. And the Archbishop of Canterbury steps in and says, hey, bro, Henry VIII, my buddy, let me handle this for you. And incredible machinations created the church, worked out the divorce, and established a Protestant church as the ruling religion. And Mary, who was raised Catholic and was expected to be the next in line of the throne, her mother was out of the picture. Anne Boleyn didn't kill her, maybe should have. But anyway, of taking great power, Mary had the rug pulled out from under her and had a lot of problems. Stepsister Elizabeth, she came into the picture, and Anne Boleyn fell out of favor. Then Henry died, but not before Edward was born. It was a little boy, and he was going to be male. He was going to be in line for the throne ahead of Mary. Ooh, that didn't work out well. But then he died, and then Mary said, oh, I'm queen again. And said, Lady Jane Grey said, no, it's me. He said, oh, my army's bigger. Cut off her head, and Mary's queen, and goes to reestablish, and didn't succeed, but boy did she try. Burned hundreds at the stake. Horrible way to go. Tortured people, and the guy that performed the divorce, up in flames. And tortured people like who else is a Protestant? So torture devices. Silver bells and cockle shells. I'm coming around to the topic here. Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow with silver bells and cockle shells? Cockle shells were a torture device. It was like a couple of spoons that went around the testicles, and you could crank just as slowly as you wanted. How does your garden grow with silver bells and cockle shells? So, enjoy your dolmas. Be safe, everybody. Okay.